Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here. It's time for another Siege comparison, and this time around we're going to take a look at the Race Car Patrol. This is a special video, so this requires a shout out. I want to give a special shout out to subscriber Rosie Hunt, a longtime friend of this channel. For it was around Christmas last year that she sent me the new version here, these two. And that's what got me into collecting these Siege toys. So, Rosie, this is for you. Alright, this time around, as we said, we got the Race Car Patrol. The red vehicle is Road Handler, and the gray vehicle is Swindler. Yeah, it's nice to see that neither of them had their names changed from the transition from original to modern. What all else has changed? Besides the fact that the new ones are a little top-heavy. Let's take a look. We'll start with Road Handler. In the G1 continuity, Road Handler was the leader of the Race Car Patrol. As we can see here, they've retained a lot of his color scheme, although they changed the blue paint on his hips. See here, the original one had blue on his hips. It's been replaced on the new one with black. So, a nice subtle change. On the original toy, his articulation was rather limited. He could raise his arm up all the way or fold it all the way down, 180 degrees. He can bend his legs at the hips, and he can also bend his legs at the knees. So, not a whole lot of range of motion for him. The modern one, by comparison, has considerably more. We can raise his arms out to the side, about that far, without popping them off, as you saw me do. And he can rotate his arms at the shoulder all the way. You can spread his legs apart about so far, again, before they pop off the ball joint. You can raise his legs up about so far, and he can bend at the knee about 90 degrees. So he has considerable range of motion for such a tiny figure. It's just getting him to stay standing that's the challenge. There we go. Now, let's go ahead and get these guys transformed into their alternate modes and take a look at how they look. Here we've got them in their car modes, and it's a nice resemblance to each other, while taking the newer one into a somewhat different direction. Of course, the original one was intended to resemble a real car, some form of Chevrolet, if my memory is correct. But I'll have to double check my sources when I fully review the team. How well does he roll on his little plastic wheels? Well, if we can hold on to him steadily, we'll give it a try. Not too bad. Could be better, but could be a lot worse. Of course, the new one here, it's not meant to look like any sort of specific car. It's on 4 bigger plastic wheels. Let's take a look and see how he rolls. About equal. So they could stand a little better rolling action, but otherwise, they're not too bad. Let's bring out Swindler and take a look at how he compares. Now here we have Swindler, and obviously the first thing I notice on them is the fact they took away some of the blue plastic that was heavily featured on the original. Took that away on the new one. I think it improves the look a little bit, but there is, of course, room for debate. And he does retain something of the same shape that the original had. For articulation-wise, the original one could rotate his arms all the way around. It's also capable of bending at the hips about 90 degrees, and he could bend at the knee about 90 degrees. Pretty standard range of motion. The new one here, he can rotate his arms all the way like many of the others can. His aren't as easy to move around, so it's part of the problem with him. Everything seems to get in the way. His legs, he can spread his legs apart at almost to full splits. He can raise his legs up at the hip about 90 degrees, and he can bend at the knee about 90 degrees. Plus, he does have a joint at his hips, so he can twist around there. Alright, now let's flip them into their alternate mode and see how they look that way. Now here we have them in their car modes. The newer one tends to go with a more silvery color than the original. But of course, the original was intended to be resembling a DeLorean. So you see, folks, you can do more with a DeLorean than just make a time machine. You can make a transformer. Anyway, how does he roll? Fair, about average for your MicroMaster. The new one, its look isn't too bad. It does look kind of sleek and sporty. If it were a brighter silver, I would almost say it was matching my car. Anyway, let's see how this one rolls. Rolls pretty good. Very, very good, considering. So, all in all, these guys do have a weapon alternate mode. Let's merge them together and take a look. And here we are in their combined weapon mode, which is supposedly a multi-mech particle exhaust cannon. Seeing as the weapon is discharging from their feet, the exhaust part is probably right. But it does look rather silly in my eyes. Really not feeling it for this mode, folks. I'm sorry to say. But then again, I'm not too totally sorry to say it, because apparently later this year we will be getting a Decepticon set, and it's going to use this mold right here. It's going to be a remake, a repaint of these two toys. So, love this mode or hate it, we will see it again. Me personally, I just don't like it. It looks rather silly. I mean, yeah, we got the gun barrels inside their feet. Get up close so you can see them. But I don't see it, and I'm really not a fan of it, folks. This one really doesn't work out for me. Oh well, can't win them all. And that concludes my review, my comparison review of the Racetrack Patrol. If you like the video, please leave me a thumbs up here on YouTube. If you're new to my channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you'll be alerted when I post new content. And please consider sharing your thoughts of the Racetrack Patrol in the comments down below. This is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.